Hey y'all, how are all my beautiful friends doing? I hope y'all all are having a great week so far, and welcome back to Crime Time with Mal. If you are new and you've never seen my face before, hi and welcome. My name is Mallory, and over here we cover true crime, missing and unsolved cases. If that is something you'd be interested in, I would love to have you join this amazing community and subscribe to my channel. I upload 2 times a week, and today's video is a very requested one. We have been talking about this video on my Discord for a few weeks now, and y'all, it's all about Jason Landry. Have y'all heard about this case? I'm sure 80-90% of y'all have. Jason Landry was a 21-year-old college student at Texas State University, and he went missing on December 13th, 2020 on his way home to visit his parents for winter break. His vehicle was found abandoned with his personal belongings everywhere in a small town in Caldwell County, south of Austin. He has been missing ever since then, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share this video wherever you can to help spread awareness for Jason. And let's get started. Real quick, it is a rainy day here in Georgia. So if y'all hear cars passing by, I'm right next to the window because it gives that all natural lighting, and then my fake lighting is over here. But if y'all hear cars passing or rain, I apologize. Let's just add it to the ambiance of this video. Hopefully this mic does its job and muffles out the rest of that noise. Jason has always been known to be extremely strong-willed. He's very courageous, very adventurous, and extremely optimistic. Jason was the youngest of 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl, and he was born to parents Kent and Lisa, who have been together for over 30 years. Jason is also extremely talented in music, and his father is a preacher. Jason started out his first year at college during the pandemic, right when everything started. So we all know that things were not the same, but finals were coming to an end, and Jason was headed home to spend time with his family for the holidays. Finals were coming to an end, and Jason was extremely excited to go home to visit his family for Christmas and the holidays. Everyone in general was just super excited. Your son's gone off to college, and it's just not the same without your kids around. On December 13th, Jason and his friend, who also lives like right next door nearby to Jason, he tells him like he's going off to visit his family and he was about to leave. His friend says, "You need to get some sleep, you're tired." And Jason's like, "Oh no, I'm good, I'm fine." And Jason leaves. It's the last conversation that his friend had with Jason. That night at 10:55 p.m., Jason leaves his apartment at the San Marcos Apartments to go to Missouri City to visit his family's home. Now, Jason didn't really know how to get to his parents' house because he had only driven back and forth to the university and to his parents' house a few times. So he was using Waze to navigate. A volunteer firefighter is actually driving down Salt Flat Road in Luling, and he comes across an abandoned vehicle. The driver's side door is against the trees and the fence, and it had some damage. The headlights are on, and the window in the far back is broken out. The volunteer firefighter calls dispatch, and a Texas Highway Patrol trooper ends up coming on scene an hour later. While this volunteer firefighter is waiting on Highway Patrol to come, he is driving up and down this road, making sure that there's no one walking and needing help. The temperatures are dropping, but he sees absolutely no one.
Sheriff's office.
Hey, it's Cameron with Southeast Fire. How are you tonight?
Hello, how may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I can let you know it's Cameron with Southeast. I just come off of 1322 on the Salt Flat Road, and I'm about, I'm going to say 5 or 6 miles off of the highway, and I just come up on a vehicle that's in a ditch, and it appears that it's going to be he hit a fence. There's clothing and shoes all in the roadway.
Okay. You said at FM 1322 and Salt Flat Road?
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be about 5 miles off of Salt Flat.
Okay, and is there anybody inside the vehicle that you can see?
I'm fixing to run back up there and see, but there's a backpack and some shoes all on the road, but I'm going to run back up here and check them out. And then I'll give you a call back.
Okay.
Alrighty, man, but they are still in the ditch, but I'm going to go make contact with them.
Okay, alright, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, dispatch.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you find the driver?
I have not. I went up and down Salt Flat, and I haven't located him yet, but it appears that he grabbed a backpack or something out of his car, and he's thrown it in the middle of the road along with a cup that smelled like alcohol, and he's stripped out of his clothes wherever he's at, and there's some blood on his clothes.
Oh, okay, well, I guess we will get a deputy out there because the trooper's still a little ways out.
Alrighty, yeah, because he took out some fence, and his back windshield's not completely out, and it's got severe front and rear damage to it.
Okay.
I don't know where he's at. I've been up and down trying to find him, but I haven't located him yet. Other than that abandoned house that's on here, and I wasn't going to go up there. I figured that'd be a law enforcement issue.
Okay, and it's on Salt Flat, 4 miles north of Pumper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
All right, bye-bye.
When Highway Patrol arrives, they find underwear and shorts about 900 feet from his car. Super odd. Also, what is extremely odd is there is a string of clothes. So Jason is nude, practically. Not practically, he is nude walking down the road. They also come across a backpack and a wallet. In that backpack, they also found a prescription bottle, and in that bottle was 10 pre-rolls of green. And cops think that that played a factor in it, but I'm sorry. Unless it was laced with something, I have never in my life smoked and it made me wreck my car, disrobe, bust out a window, and walk down the streets with no clothes on. Unless I'm missing something. Or like I said, unless something was laced.
So what do we know? Is it abandoned?
It's abandoned. Nobody lives there, but I don't know if you saw all his clothes and stuff. He's completely naked wherever he's at. There's blood on his underwear.
So we got 27.
White male.
Go.
Wouldn't let him have that.
Cool. You want me to have it or just this?
Yeah.
Okay. 82, 33, 27. Three 9, 8 9, 4 8 6 0, 39 89 48 60.
I'm telling him, I live right up there on Soda Springs,
Yeah.
and I can kind of tell the vehicles, but I ain't never seen this vehicle.
Contacts. Right, college kid.
So it looks like right.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Yep. That or he's a delivery boy.
64104 county.
Still on foot. You want me to go back and hit Pumper and jump 86? I came off of Spruce. I wanted to come from Luling north. I didn't see nobody, but I never hit the side roads.
I came from
1322. So we met in the middle.
Yeah. Tell you what, the you said there was an abandoned house up there?
Yeah, so that house in
Did
the
you
right
check it
window, and I'm about to check it out, but it has, the curtains are open, some don't have curtains, so I was able to see through it. Small house. On the right window, it looks like there's something hanging on a ladder, like a shirt or a jacket. So I'm gonna go back and check it out.
Okay, good.
Enforcement thinks that he was just intoxicated and crashed because of it, but they can't really explain why there's a trail of his clothes. Highway Patrol makes their calls, and then their next call is to Jason's parents, the owner of the car that Jason was driving, a 2003 Nissan Altima. Let them know that Jason was involved in a single car collision on the side of the road, and Jason was nowhere to be found. Could you just take a second to imagine? I know I don't even want to imagine this, but put yourself in these parents' shoes. You know your baby is on their way home from college to spend Christmas and New Year's and to have family time and make more memories, and you get a phone call from Highway Patrol at 2 a.m. saying they can't find your son and they were involved in a car crash. The fear that those parents are going through, and still to this day, it's unfathomable, and my heart goes out to them. At this time now, Kent is on his way to Luling, and this is literally out in the middle of nowhere, but he is hoping with every fiber of his being that he is just going to see Jason walking along the side of the street. He can drag his butt in the car, slap him upside the head, hug him, love on him, tell him how much he loves him, tell him how much he scared him, all this, and then they'll go home and have their Christmas. But down this dark, dark highway, he literally sees nothing. At this point, he is coming up on Luling, and he's expecting to see police cars everywhere searching, spotlights out, possibly helicopters. Like, he's expecting a full-blown search for his son. But as he arrives, again, it's pitch black and no one is searching for his child. Ooh, I would feel some type of way about that. Ends up getting a phone call from Lisa shortly after that, and she informs him that Highway Patrol towed his car, and Ken is like, well, can you ask Highway Patrol the name and number of the tow truck company? And they called him, and the guy was at home sleeping. They woke him up. Not the tow truck guy, but the Highway Patrol guy that was just supposed to be on scene to be searching for Jason. Highway Patrol trooper ends up telling they didn't know what to do, basically, so that was that. I don't know, I'm not in law enforcement or anything. Maybe call for backup, maybe call for a search team, maybe do something and search for this missing college kid that obviously has no clothes on and that is just walking around in the middle of nowhere.
And I understand this is like really late at night, but the first 24 to 48 hours, we all know, is the most crucial. And again, this 21-year-old is out in the woods with no clothes on. Somewhere, at least. He didn't just poof out into thin air. So I'm not trying to be too hard, but I mean, I feel like they could have done more.
That could be a start. 4 hours into Jason missing, Ken finally ends up getting the exact location that Jason's car was wrecked. The road kind of looks like a gravel dirt road, and when he gets there, he sees track marks veering off into like the grassy area. Y'all, this amazing dad also found his shirt, his socks, which he knows were his because Jason was known for wearing these like crazy outlandish socks, and flip-flops, his personal clothing, potential evidence that was left there and not taken and bagged and put into evidence. I'm so confused right now. This can't be normal. This is not normal. What is happening? Videoed all of this on his phone, and he also found a bag of Jason's toiletries. It had his deodorant, toothbrush, all that kind of stuff in it.
On highway, what is this, whatever they call this, Salt Flat Road or whatever, on the washboard. And these are Jason's clothes lying on the road. Just wanted to see, those are 2 pairs of socks, shorts, that's underwear. I'm about, I don't know, 20 feet ahead. You couldn't really see them. This is his flip-flops. This is his t-shirt. You can see where at least this is where they went. I don't know, these are the track marks, and you can go down here and you can see where the car went off. You see the wheels and hit down here by this tree and fence. And Jason walked this way towards Luling or whoever. God, please be with him. This is where I found Jason's stuff. Right, right there, right where those rocks in the road are, about 30 feet. This is his toiletry bag from when he came home with his toothpaste and shaving cream, and that's his drink cup. And the car ran off the road right around this curve. You can see that where you go in, that's an oil field thing. And then right around that curve, about I don't know, 50 feet past that, you can see where it ran off the road. So this is, I don't think 200, I don't think it's maybe a football field, maybe a little bit more, where I found his stuff, his clothes lying in the road. God be with him.
With all due respect, and y'all know if y'all have watched my videos for any amount of time, I am 100% back the blue. But you have one job, and that is to make sure that no stone goes unturned. You are a voice for this victim and this victim's family. Was literally the only one looking for his son, and luckily he had that Find My Phone on Jason's phone, and he found where Jason's car was towed to, where the highway patrol said that it was, and saw Jason's car. He had so many emotions going through him, he said, and I can't even imagine, like I literally cannot. But he said his car did not look good, and he was thinking the worst but praying for the best. And knew that Jason's phone was in this car because he hadn't found it. Police haven't found it. So he was searching through the car and he found it in between the seat and the like armrest thing, but it was unfortunately locked. Calls police and they finally get a search team together. December 14th, they brought in Texas Search and Rescue and they searched the car crash site, and just over the hill, there's a retention pond and dogs started hitting at that pond. They brought in a dive team, they brought in sonar and water rescue guys and searched the whole entire pond. The owner then actually gave them permission to drain the pond. And Lisa were hopeful and just waiting, like, today's the day, today's the day, today's the day. But that day never came and Jason was not in that pond. And this is a relief to them because they're thankful that he's not in the pond, but then they're also like, well, where the heck is he? Like, he's still missing. Scared. Is he lonely? Is he cold? Is he suffering? Is he out there in a ditch, passed away? Like, all these things, I'm sure, just go through your mind. Being a parent myself, that's what would go through my mind. A friend that lived next to Jason in college was actually his best friend since like 7th grade. And it just so happened that they went to the same university together and they lived very, very close together. And he said that that week Jason was normal, and they did have online classes because, again, the pandemic. And he did say that he noticed Jason started to smoke more and his thought process would start to get a little wonky.
Also, it was said that he was acting really strange in like right before his disappearance, and this is a FaceTime call with one of his friends, and one of them actually was in his hometown that he was going to go plan to meet up with when he got home, but he recorded his calls because he didn't think Jason would believe how weird he was acting, so this was kind of like proof.
The thing is, Jason was a very extroverted people, and I'm sure myself, my daughter, along with a lot of y'all can really relate to this. It's really made him struggle. He wasn't able to really fully experience the college life, be around people, go to classes, go to parties, do the normal college kid things, and he really struggled with that. He was still excited about Texas State. He just didn't expect it to be this way. It wasn't the way he thought it was going to be. It was just a crappy year. Friend said that the days leading up to him missing, he was smoking quite a bit and he was not sleeping a lot. He wasn't really eating that much, and his friend started to get concerned. And the night that Jason left, Jack said, "You need to get some sleep. You've been up for a bit, you got a long drive," and replied, "I got some sleep early, but I appreciate the concern." 6 days after Jason's disappearance, the search continued. Helicopters, K-9 teams, hundreds of thousands of drone images were taken, and they found nothing. Enforcement planned to search the rest of Saturday, and if they did not find any evidence, then they were going to stop their search until more evidence would come up. They said they needed a timeline, they needed forensics done on Jason's car, they needed DNA swabs, fingerprints collected, evidence collected, just a ton of stuff they said that they needed to get done. Everywhere in the area, they were collecting game cams, cameras on properties, just anything that they could find to help piece this puzzle of where the heck Jason just vanished. They found no video evidence, and then they turned to Waze. You have like Google Maps. If you look through there and your location is on, you can actually go back for I don't even know how long time, and see every place that you have traveled when you have had your phone on you. And that's kind of how Waze works, is it pings through the cell phone towers that you are near. It also can tell when the app is closed out, and at one point Waze is minimized and he opens Snapchat. Apparently this is what cops said, that he was looking at Snapchat and this is when he missed his turn, and instead of turning he continued straight, and that is when Jason wrecks. So he wrecks, he leaves, undresses, breaks out the windshield, unless that happened during the wreck, leaves all of his belongings. I'd at least take my green. Sorry, a little humor doesn't hurt anyone. Doesn't call anyone and starts just taking off. Now, maybe he had some sort of amnesia from the wreck. I don't know. This is so strange to me. 2 months into Jason's disappearance, and the media picks it up. Facebook groups are created. Boards get put up along the highway from Lulling to Lockhart. Everyone just pulled together in the community because most of them were parents themselves, and they could understand how these parents were feeling at this moment. Enforcement says that the area that Jason went missing has a ton of wild hogs. If y'all don't know, wild hogs can be huge, anywhere between like 200-300 pounds, and they are mean. We have those here in Georgia. They're not nice. But some people were also thinking that maybe the wild hogs got to Jason. I don't know, but something still just doesn't sit right with me on that side of the theory. Retired FBI agent, now turned PI, started to look into Jason's case. His daughter actually goes to Texas State, and she requested her dad to look into her friend's disappearance. She actually used to date one of Jason's friends, and she says that Jason was such a great friend and just such a great guy who just really wanted his help and his knowledge, and he agreed to help the family completely pro bono. So law enforcement believe Jason was intoxicated and wrecked his vehicle, right? The PI says that he wants to look at everything, all possibilities, which is what should be done. Stood out to him the most, along with all of us, is his clothes just laid out on the road. The PI also says that they were not very careful with evidence, the scene of the crime in general. The PI and his team started to go down Salt Flat Road, and they started going door to door and down the intersection that he passed. They learned of a major substance problem out there. Now, a lot of people spoke out to this PI, but also a lot of people were extremely hesitant to speak to this PI, saying that they did know stuff but couldn't talk because afraid of the heavy dealers that were around in the area. PI set up a tip line, a safe, anonymous tip line for anybody to call in with their tips. And there were a lot, and a lot of them were extremely similar than what I just said, like too similar. All of the tips they vetted, they followed through with them no matter where they were, and it took them all kinds of places, but they followed through with it. The tips that were also coming in were saying that Jason ran across some people at the intersection of Magnolia and Austin Street. Something happened, they weren't sure what, but he may not have been the one driving. That intersection from Salt Flat Road is about 4 miles away. So somebody very well could have possibly crashed his car on purpose and then threw around his clothes to make it look like something happened. But there is an hour span between 11:30 and 12:30 that nobody knows what happened to Jason. And that's within a 3-mile radius. So it would definitely not take an hour to get from Luling to Salt Flat Road. The time just does not match up. So what happened in that hour? Like I said, Luling is a very small community, and a lot of the people that live there have been there for generations and generations and generations. Like their families and families and families have been there. Well, the PI received a letter in the mail at his home one day. It described everything in perfect detail and all the tips on the tip line. But law enforcement doesn't really believe these tips. Jason's dad is getting all of these messages sent to him about what happened to his son. And oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sorry, but that is gross. And that is very disheartening. Like, no parent wants to see that. If you have tips, call law enforcement. That's what they're there for. Don't call the family or reach out to them and tell them stuff like that. Since law enforcement doesn't believe like all these tips that are coming in about somebody taking his car and wrecking it, so they believe more that Jason wrecked it and just took off all of his clothes and disappeared. That doesn't make sense to me either. My understanding, law enforcement did find DNA evidence, and they said it's no big deal because friends get in the car with their friends all the time, and they had to actually have evidence of a crime scene being committed. And since there's no evidence of a crime scene.
I mean, I know this stuff right here isn't a lot, but it's something, and that tells me that he was injured some way just because it wasn't a ton of it everywhere. I mean, you should always treat something as a crime scene, even though it doesn't look like that.
I'm sorry, but can somebody in the comments please help me make that make sense to me? Law enforcement ended up stopped working with the PI because they claimed that his tips were outlandish, and they just stopped working with him. They didn't believe anything that he was doing. And honestly, his parents just want answers. That's it. They just want to know where their son is. Like I always say, the unknown is absolute torture. They have had prayer vigils, and on the 1-year anniversary of Jason's disappearance, a ton of people showed up to support Jason's family and to remember Jason. And his dad actually drove to the car crash site and sat there because that is the last place his son was known to be, and he just felt close with Jason there. And when I saw that, I just broke down in tears. Law enforcement says that they are still actively working on this investigation, but their relationship with the family is strained. And again, with all due respect, I feel like it is, I don't know, I only know one side of the, well, I've seen both sides of the story so far. And in my opinion, the relationship is strained with the family because of law enforcement. I said it. In 2021, the Attorney General's cold case unit ended up opening up. They decided to take on Jason's case, which meant new investigators and a new, fresh set of eyes, which honestly sounds like great news and just what the family needs. And Caldwell County maintains that Jason is the only one that knows what happened to him. And maybe that's true, and maybe it's not, but all possibilities need to be explored. There is still a family out there that does not have their son and has no answers at all. And this is not normal. I'm sorry, but this is not normal. I don't know. What do y'all think? Please comment your thoughts and opinions down below. I would also love to go live this weekend, Saturday more than likely, to discuss this case over with y'all on a live. Maybe we can do some maps, look at some different stuff, look at some Reddits. We'll just chat about what is going on, dig a little bit deeper, and I would love for y'all to join me in that. Please be respectful to Jason and his family and anyone that I mentioned in today's video. My thoughts and my prayers are with Jason and his family and his friends, and I hope that they get answers tomorrow, today. I hope they get answers as soon as humanly possible. They deserve somebody looking at this case and treating it as it was their own missing son or their own missing loved one. And if you have any information at all regarding Jason's disappearance, please call the Attorney General's Cold Case Unit at 512-936-0742. There is a $10,000 reward with any information leading to finding Jason. And if you are not done watching today's video, I would love for you to stay till the end. You will see an end screen with a playlist and a video suggested that you will more than likely enjoy. I would love to have you continue watching those. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps out my channel, but most of all, it helps YouTube get this video out into the YouTube algorithm and all my missing people videos, because y'all, I talk about a lot that are not known out there. And the more people that see these videos, the more chance there is for somebody to give a tip that they didn't think was important. I just want to help families, and that's the easiest way that y'all can also help these families as well. Also, hit that bell notification so you don't miss whenever I go live or whenever I upload a video. And I will see y'all on my next video on Thursday. Again, leave me your thoughts and opinions down below, and I hope y'all have an amazing week. Bye, y'all.